Welcome. We're now moving on to listen to the chairperson of this event. That's the chairperson of ECOWAS. That's the president of Liberia, Her Excellency President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf.
Excellency, Mr. Acting President of Nigeria, Presidents of the ECOWAS Authority here present, may I now be allowed to stand on the protocol already stated by saying, Excellencies, several VVIPs, Excellencies, several VIPs, Excellencies, special guests, Excellency, the Coordinating Committee, governors, all of you who have come, to all of you, I say, we honor and thank you for being here. Let me begin by expressing heartfelt thanks and prayers to the Almighty God on this auspicious occasion, on the grand opening of the Olusegun Obssanjo Presidential Library in this historic city of Abeokuta, Ogun State. On behalf of the authority and institutions of ECOWAS and the people of Liberia, I extend to you, Chief Obssanjo, manifold felicitations for today's historic event. It is indeed a great pleasure and honor to be here in response to your invitation to me to make remarks on this occasion. I also wish to express thanks and appreciation through you, Chief Obssanjo, to the Executive Governor of Ogun State, His Excellency Ikenkuli Omoson, and his amiable wife, Mrs. Amoson, for the kind hospitality extended to us since our arrival. History will bear truth to this precedent-setting presidential initiative in Africa that will spur a strong legacy for successful retiring presidents to emulate, to record and preserve the history of nation building for prosperity and for the benefit of today and future generations. For example, many may recall it was President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, who in 1941 dedicated the first presidential library in America. On that momentous occasion, President Roosevelt proclaimed to the world, and I quote, "The dedication of a library is in itself an act of faith, to bring together the records of the past and to house them in buildings where they will be preserved for the use of men and women in the future. A nation must believe in three things. It must believe in the past, it must believe in the future, it must above all believe in the capacity of its own people to learn from the past that they gain in judgment in creating their own future." Several American presidents have followed President Roosevelt's example in preserving the past. Indeed, as recorded in the second volume of your book, You are inspired by the example of U.S. President Jimmy Carter, with whom you share the values of leaving behind the record of the past for future generations. In your early effort, you faced difficulties and dissent, but as usual, you remain firm in your commitment to preserve the institutional memory of your nation and your own personal journey. Today, with great delight, we witness and we dedicate Africa's first. This achieved through your innovative effort, dear friend and brother, President Obssanjo. Through these facilities, we witness the extension of Roosevelt's vision as a living testimony of Africa's belief in itself, in the capacity to learn from the past and thereby create a better future. Moreover, we take pride that this is our own history, your own history, your nation's history, made, recorded, presented, and graphically displayed by ourselves, by yourselves, through these structures for prosperity. Thank you, Mr. President, for this wonderful day. Thank you for this moment. Thank you for this occasion of a great manifestation of history. The lessons herein are more than academic or events from the distant past. When history and technology meet, as elegantly displayed in the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library, history becomes alive as a dynamic reality for the benefit and development of humankind, for our people, our children, who will read events of history, who will live, interact, feel, and even challenge the interpretations of past events. Congratulations to you, Nigeria, and through you, Acting President Osinbajo. For giving Africa this special project as a model and precedence to be emulated by others. Let me end my remarks by once again congratulating you, my brother, friend, and co-worker in the African vineyard, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, for this pace-setting and history-making monumental event displayed for us on these grounds here in Abeokuta. Thank you for what the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library represents. Thank you to all of those who have brought it into fruition. To the honor and glory of the Almighty God, may this place continue to be a living legacy and living testimony of President Obasanjo's indefatigable accomplishments in Nigeria, Africa, and the world. I invite African children, youths, adults, scholars everywhere, and friends of Africa worldwide to visit this presidential library, as we have experienced here today, to walk along the halls, stroll down the beautiful lawns of the fields, view the exhibits from the life and times of a great son of Nigeria and Africa. More importantly, read, see, hear, feel, and interact with history and culture. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your distinguished presence as you join this part of history. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Your Excellency.